In a previous CS5 tutorial, we used the refine edge to select out this ghost pipefish and then move it on the background. And just go ahead. Now, the first thing we need to do, of course, is make an adjustment to this image because it is on the fly. I'm just going to use the auto setting, and I'm going to take the white down a little bit so that it knocks some whites in there. Okay, that pretty much takes care of that. Okay, now I'm going to use this new tool. So in the CS5 tutorial, we took the quick select and we went ahead and we selected the ghost pipefish like this. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to show you a little bit of the procedure that we used before in CS5 and the differences in CS6. Okay, and then we used the Alt key and went in and got this right here. And then we went to select, refine edge, and let's move it over here like this. Clicked on the Smart Radius tool and then started selecting along the edge of it like this, and it would clean it up and give a nice selection of the ghost pipefish. We're not going to do that because we're in CS6 now. We're going to use a different tool to do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to the select and deselect it. Now we're going to come up here to the toolbox, and we have the spot healing brush, patch tool. We now have a new tool called the ContentAwareMove tool. Now we have some options up here. We can either go move or extend. I'll use a different image for the extend, and we have the default, which is normally the medium. Now, as you're working with this tool, if it picks up artifacts along the edges of the image when you move it, then you can try some of these different adaptations, either very strict or very loose, depending on the image. But right now, let's just go ahead and make this selection. And now, the move tool is basically a lasso tool. So I'm going to go ahead and go around it here. I slipped a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how to fix that. You can actually go around it like this. Now you can use the lasso tool if you want also to do this. Now that's not too bad. So you could go up, and if you wanted to add to it, you go to the lasso tool and I could add or take away. For instance, let's just say that I want to add a little bit right here. I could do that and it would add it into it. Now, I'm going to take a little bit away because I want to show you how you could make a mistake with this tool. And we're going to basically get too close to this little thing right here. Right there, see that? And it's going to pick up an artifact later. I did that intentionally so you could see that. I'm going to come down to the ContentAwareMove tool. And I'm just going to go ahead and now click and drag it up, and it will move it. Now, it's analyzing what's inside the selection, and it's going to then basically go out and do a refine edge on these edges here. It's going to move this ghost pipefish, and then it's going to fill in the background in the position that it moved it from using a content-aware fill, the new one that's actually very impressive also because it minimizes the repetition of data in the background. Okay, it's just about done here. It does take a little while. There. Okay, so see this little artifact right here. See that? That's because I got too close to it. Now, we could go up and try an adaptation and either go very loose, which would make it farther out, or very strict, which would keep the selection very tight. But that's not the problem. My selection was too close. And so basically, I'm just going to go ahead and go up, edit, and step back. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the lasso tool. I'm going to go to the add, and I'm going to add right in here so that we have data around the edge. Now there's a little bit pointing right there. You always want to make sure you have a little bit extra, and it's a little close there. So I will add some there, and I think now we're pretty good shape. So I'm going to go back to the ContentAwareMove tool again, and let's just go ahead and move it one more time. So now it's going to analyze. It's going to see that there's data beyond this little projection out from the ghost pipefish, and it's going to add it in the scene. And it probably shouldn't have the artifact down there that we saw before. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, there we go. It's still just got a tiny bit. I could probably even add in a little bit more selection. But let's just go ahead and deselect it. Okay, it's been moved, and there's that little tiny piece there. So let's just go ahead and use the patch tool. I should have gone out even farther than I had to get rid of it. Okay, actually I need to bring that down over here in this area. I think that'll help it there. A little bit of repetition there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do the history, bring it over, and we will make a snapshot. There's one snapshot, and then I'm going to come up to this right here, and there's the before image, and there's the after image, and let's just go ahead and make a snapshot of that. So we're comparing the correction to the correction. So here we go. There's the original correction of the image, and then there's where we moved it and edited out some of the background. Now you want to make sure you look really close because you may see some additional artifacts. This tool is not perfect. I mean, it does, you still have to play around with some of the different settings, the adaptation or the different kind of patch. So before you move on, you want to make sure you look really close and see if there's any artifacts or things showing. In this case, there's a little bit here. It's not a perfect tool. It's an incredible tool because it does a lot of the heavy lifting on the edit, and all you have to do is go in then and just tweak the adjustment. And for instance, right here, let's just fix that, and so that doesn't show. And I think there's something going on right there. We'll fix that. We're just doing this with the patch tool. Okay, I think we pretty much, oh, there's some right there. Most of the images I've tried with this, it still does need a little bit of work after the fact, a little cleanup on it, just to make sure that nothing's showing up. And I think it's pretty much done. Now this looks like that might be part of that right there. So let's just go ahead. It may or may not be, but I'm not going to take any chances. Okay, so actually I'm going to take that. I don't like the way that did that. So I'm going to bring it over here like this. Right in there, that's better. Okay, now let's go ahead and make another snapshot. And let's just work our way through. There's the original, and there's the move with all the fixes done. Okay, in the next tutorial of the Content Aware Move, we're going to show you a different image, and we're going to show you how the extend portion works.